Am I audible to everyone? Okay. Good evening, Venkatari. Good evening, Deepesh. Could you please prepare a question? Sure. I'll make the questions. Don't worry. We will discuss both the things like films versus and also the mains. Okay, don't worry. So we'll get this PDF in the description box. Today we are going to just discuss about certain articles that are important from the newspaper for the day, the 5th May 2026. Okay. So you all know what is the procedures. You will get this PDF in the description box, as well as you can scan this QR code and join our Telegram channel, right? Okay. So with no delay, let's get into it. Already been late, right? Okay. First one is about rights of persons with disabilities. Right now, the Supreme Court have extended the rights of persons with disabilities when it comes to acid attack survivors. Okay, and we are just going to see it, and what is the extension of the law, and also what is the benefit based upon this. Okay, clear? So this will be going on which pocket it will be going on GS2 polity paper, right? When it comes to the second one, the transgender persons, again, okay, related to GS2 paper, we have already discussed about the challenges, right? What is basically on which is basically on the self identification method and the new amendment in their Transgenders Protection Act. Okay, so that amendment is giving certain things, and right now Supreme Court is taking the petitioners arguments and everything. Okay, so nothing have been completely decided yet. They are taking the arguments and everything. Just a quick recall, we are just going to see this. Okay, excuse me. Third one is about the POCSO Act. Okay, so recently Maharashtrian government have demanded certain things based upon a minor child got harassed and everything. Okay, so they have the Maharashtrian Child Protection Commission, na? So they have actually suggested certain demands, and they were asking for a speedy trial that we are going to see in this case. So again, we are going to see what is the function of like the POCSO Act and also the Child Commission, okay, Child Rights Commission and everything. So it will sit in our GS2 paper of polity. And again, the last one is about the medical inflation, which is directly affecting our GS3 paper, okay, in the economy. So we are just going to see along with the inflations. Okay, we have read about normal inflation and cost push inflation and everything, right? So apart from that, we are going to see how inflation is being impacted in our it is prevailing in our pharmaceutical and also the medical, the treatment, whatever the scan or the procedures to diagnosis, all these are having this inflation. So we are going to see what are all the causes and everything from an article. Okay, since what about things PDF तो लगा रखे हैं, आप एक बार चेक कर लीजिए डिस्क्रिप्शन बॉक्स में. ठीक है, current affairs. To prepare current affairs, you have to read the newspaper daily basis, okay, and you have to get to the you have to take the notes for the monthly compilation. Okay, every day you will be reading it, you have to take the notes of it. Good evening, Gagan. Okay, then you have to compile it weekly, then it will be easy for you to compile it monthly as well, because repetition of topics will be coming to the current affairs. So newspapers is must. Along with that, for the reliable sources of data and everything, PIB, PRS, so All India Radio, all these portals you can follow. Okay. Okay. Then coming back to the topics. So medical inflation के बारे में हम आज पढ़ने वाले हैं. Since yesterday it was election results day in certain like around 5 states where got the election results. So the newspaper is completely of election result news only, where major of the areas having different changes. Okay, the history was like completely opposite. Earlier it used to be different parties who will be winning, but now in this election the 5 of the good evening. So the 5 of those states got a different result this time. So it have been completely filled with those election results only. So only minimum of topics only we would be able to get it today, we will be seeing it. Okay. So in that also we have seen one or two repeated ones. Okay. First one is about first one is about Supreme Court brings survivors of forcible ingestion of acid in RPWD Act. So here all the points have to be written. You could have told, I didn't get you one. Can you please brief it? Okay. So first, in the acid attack survivors, okay, earlier the rights of Persons with Disabilities Act have been given, it have been extended to acid attack survivors also. Okay. So here from now, not only the person who have attacked by throwing the acid, okay, if somebody is throwing acid on me and I will be getting the benefits, and also I will be categorized under with the rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016. Now Supreme Court have extended its provision even little further, okay, which is, it is also related to acid only, but here the major thing is about ingestion. Ingestion is nothing but you are asking somebody to intake it, okay, swallow it, drink it or something, okay. So here forcible ingestion, if you see recently, like 6 to 7, 8 months before, I read an article, okay, where it have showed that because of dowry, okay, because of the dowry, the groom's family asked, after she got married and everything, okay, happened, she got a child also, but there was a continuous dowry problem in their home, okay. So that groom have asked that groom and groom's family asked her to drink the acid, okay. She drank the acid and her internal esophagus and everything, certain organs are also burnt, okay. So they need continuous life support and also the medical support, okay, the treatment. So in these kind of cases, now they have extended that, okay, the forcible ingestion also will be having the protection under the rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. So if you see what is the benefits of coming under this, okay, so to give them a boost in participating things and also to get regular medical treatments and everything, okay. So for that the government is giving the procedures, okay. So the first one is about, okay, peoples who got forced to ingest acid also will be covered under rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. Clear till now? Okay. So actually this article 142 is about the Supreme Court's act here, okay. So the Supreme Court will be having the special power to enact or to alter the definition of the laws or something, okay. So where it comes, it allows, this article 142 allows the Supreme Court to do the complete justice if the legislation is not talking about certain issue, or if the legislation is not working upon certain issues, okay, and if there is any justices keep on delaying because of there is no proper law or the inclusiveness of those survivors or any other concern, okay. If 4 concerns have been included in this act and 2 more are upcoming new cases, okay, new concerns. If that has not been added legally, and we will not be able to give what? We will not be able to give the justice, right? So the delaying process of this law making also will be, like, because of the delay in legislation and also the delayed justice, the Supreme Court can themselves can amend this law, okay. So that is what been given under the article 142, okay, that is a special power. So if you see the significance of this rights of Persons with Disabilities Act, okay, by inculcation they will be getting the disability benefits where the reservation in job opportunities and also education. So all these will be there, lesser cutoff to promote, like to give them the support to progress in their life, okay. Okay, the second one is about the access. When it comes to the access, what we have said, like if they have ingest acid or something very harsh chemicals, it would have been like completely deteriorated their internal organs also, right? So the lungs, the liver, the esophagus, their intestine, stomach, all those have been gone to very risky conditions, right? So what we have to do here is, so there they will be provided with the medical care. So the continuous medical care will be given, and also the financial assistance will be given to them, little kind of a small amount, okay, for their survival or any medicinal things. And also apart from that, identity certification, where they will, it will be useful for their in the reservation, okay. So for these things, good evening Vinay. So for these things it is very important. So now they have redefined the, they have added a definition to this acid attack survivors also when it comes to the rights of Person with Disabilities Act. Okay, clear? Is there is any other doubt here? So just read about Article 142. So Article 142 will be giving you voluntarily causing, okay, so vigorous hurt. Okay, so this we have to, sorry, Article 142 is giving special powers to amend by itself. Okay, so here they have mentioned. So the court to wait for the ministry to initiate the amendment, senior advocate, okay, appearing for petitioners successfully pleaded the court to flex its plenary powers under Article 142. So just read about it, and also the Act of Rights of Person with Disabilities Act 2016. Just read about it. That's it. Okay, na? So that's it from this article. Let's move on to the next one. Next one is about again the Supreme Court's things only. Now they have started hearing those arguments from the petitioners, the generally the transgenders. Okay, so we all know transgenders, like they have their rights, right? And also they have considered as a third gender when it comes to NALSA versus Union of India case in 2014, and also they have been like protected from discrimination, and they are being provided with certain reservations in jobs also. Okay, so this is clear, right? So now what is the problem arised is, already we have discussed this, which is the transgenders are like earlier they were having self identification, okay, but now it is mandatory that the medical board have to be, government medical board have to take the test about them, and they will be identifying their gender, and also the district magistrate's certification is also needed to prove them as a transgender, okay, to identify themselves as a transgender. These two things are mandatory. One is the government medical board have to give the results after the test, and also the district magistrate have to give the certificate, like the identification. Okay, so where the problem arises here is, it is questioning that the right to like my bodily autonomy I can like define me as belong to this gender. Okay, so the self identification right has been questioned here. So if you see two sides of argument, first is when it comes to the transgender, see, I want to choose what I am, okay, right? So if I want to be a woman, or if I want to become a man or something, that I have to be decided, and I have to identify myself as I belong to this gender, okay. So here it is my fundamental right to identify myself who I am, okay. And when it comes to this other state argument, the state argues is like, see, we are bringing this kind of certification and everything process to make sure that there is no fake transgenders are being benefited. Fake transgenders is nothing but normal people, they identify themselves as a transgender, they will be getting the reservation, they will be getting the concession and all the welfare schemes, okay, whichever it comes under them, okay, they will be taking of all those benefits. And but the thing is, like, whatever the scheme is, it should be benefiting the targeted audience, right? So somebody is faking in it, and as a woman I'm portraying myself as a like a man or trans man, okay, so there the problem arises, right? So I am faking there, so some other genuine transgender is supposed to get that opportunity. By faking, I am also getting it, so I am just riding out all those competitions, right? So that is a major issue here. So to take out those fake identification and also to give the beneficiaries to the genuine people. So that is what their argument, the state's argument is that only. Okay. So if the Supreme Court is keep on hearing about it, we will be seeing what would be the last verdict. Okay. So till then we are just going to see where they have mentioned that, okay, in 2014 in the Nalsa versus Union of India case, the transgender have been recognized as third gender, okay, and also they have the right to self identification. Okay, so now they are being protected under what articles? Article 14 equality, Article 15 and 16, and Article 19 and Article 21 life, right to life. Okay, so all these are the articles coming under the protection. Okay. When it comes to the Transgenders Protection Act, okay, Persons Protection of Rights Amendment, Act, it started in 2019. Okay. So here they prohibit the discrimination and promote the welfare schemes, like welfare schemes for them is like job opportunity, the reservation in job. If you see their recent times, one transgender SI have been placed in Tamil Nadu police, okay, and so these kind of things, police services and many judges, all they were like, okay, they are coming with all those welfare schemes only. So it is essential for every section of the people having opportunity, equal opportunity, and also they should be given the right to life also, right. So the same thing applies to transgenders as well. Okay, so this is what the background is. So when we are seeing about the concern here, which we have already discussed, the law, the 2026 amendment law says that no self identification as transgender. So for that, what you need to do, you have to go to any medical government in medical institution. There you have to get the government approval by going through certain test and everything. The problem here is sometimes the tests are mentally and physically very tiring. Okay? All states. Yes, it is available in all states. For transgenders, it is available in all states. Okay? So, the government approval is needed. Okay? And along with that, you need district magistrate certification also. So, when you have given the test and when there is any result have been came and it has been said that this person belongs under this trans men or trans women category. So, that kind of a certificate, that report will be given to you and you have to get the certificate from district magistrate. Certain problems here is one about the nature of the test and the technicality in the biology. Okay? Nature of the test, sometimes it might be harsh and also it will be like mentally and physically tiring. Okay? So, mentally when it comes like you are going to expose yourself and you are just going to plea in front of somebody that I belong to this category. So, the identification is kind of very hectic here. So, when it comes to the second one, it is about the rights. Okay, I have the right to choose my own identity, right? But here that has been questioned. And the third thing is about the biology, where it is practically impossible, even it is not like it is impossible for biologically we are not able to understand like this people belong to this particular gender or the, okay, when it comes to the transgender. Okay, so see, with genitals alone we cannot identify, right? So the inner characteristics and also their hormones and also their there are some certain biological conditions that belongs to transgender, right? But that is not so easily to identify when it comes to the transgender. Okay, so that is a major problem. Okay, so here they are arguing that gender is self-determined and personal. By amending this through the medical board's the medical board's test and also this certificates, it is violating our fundamental rights. Okay, so that is what the argument here is about. And also the core concern of the state is like fake transgender identity have to be uprooted. So they are in the they are in the concern of uprooting those fake identities and also balancing their rights. Who actually needed those things, they need to get the rights, right? And there should not be any misuse of concerns, which is like just for my, I should not take the advantage of those reservations if I am not belong to that particular community. Okay, so that is what have been discussed here. Nothing much, just have a things. Okay, we might get the reason and assertion question based on this. Okay. Moving on to the next one, Child Rights Panel seeks faster trial in Pune rape murder. The problem here is, if you see, not only the crime is keep on repeating, even the offenders are keep on repeating. Okay? So, the same offenders will be doing, okay Rahul, don't worry. Okay? So the not only the crimes, along with that offenders, okay, those who are committing that crime, they are also keep on repeating. That is the problem here. So, if you see in this case, okay, recently a minor child have been raped and she have been murdered. Okay. So, here now there is no much things were happening. So, people came into the streets and they were protesting. Because of that, now it have been triggered. So, the Maharashtrian State Commission for Protection of Child Rights, they have asked the, they have given certain demands like fast track court trial. Okay, so generally in India's like law, when it comes to POCSO, okay, so it is mandatory to do the speedy trial. Okay, and also they have demanded for the special public prosecutor also. So they have to given a proper public prosecutor, the advocate, for them to argue behalf of them, and also the maximum punishment that they could give, because the person who have involved in this already having multiple cases also. So they are pleading for the maximum punishment. This is certain things. Okay. So national level and state level, we have what, the Commission for the Protection of Child Rights. Okay. So they will be functioning for certain things. We will be seeing one by one. First, we will be seeing the POCSO. So whenever the minor child, okay, irrespective of the gender, be it boy, be it girl, okay, if a minor child have been assaulted sexually or harassed and everything, so they will be charged the crime, the people who have made that, you know, so they will be punished under this. Okay. So when we see this, in 2012 we have enacted this act, and also special law to protect child from sexual assault, harassment and pornography. So here in recent times, if you see, child pornography were very high. Okay, challenges in implementation, delays in disposal of cases, lack of trained police and judicial concerns. Yeah, okay, we will be seeing that, don't worry. Okay, so here the child pornography is very like very crucial, and it was very prevailing in the Indian society. After this kind of, after this act and everything, this have been reduced drastically. Okay, so the child pornography and everything. So if you might remember, in recent times we would have heard, like, if you are posting any picture of even your own family member kid, okay, if they are not dressed properly, if there is, their genitals are visible, okay, the photos, videos, even for happy birthday if you put it, that will also be considered under the earlier it was considered under this, like child pornography only. So this kind of things you cannot do it. Okay, so these are the protections under POCSO for kids. Okay, kids in the sense below certain age. Okay, so irrespective of gender, they will be protected. Okay, so the features of it, this POCSO is gender neutral, that we have discussed. Child friendly, no, sorry, child friendly procedures. Here, if you see the child friendly procedures, there see the questions that have been raised to a rape victim and the POCSO victim will be different. Okay. So here, if a minor child or a child is gone through the sexual assault or any harassment, the questions, frequent questions and the harsh questions will be mentally traumatizing them, right? So the questions or the procedures will be very friendly. It will not be in front of everybody. Okay, the closed circuit will be having. Okay, the judge and the victim and also the criminal will be there. Okay, so that is what the like very friendly manner, so that they will be feeling comfortable and also they will not be having any mental trauma. That kind of a situation and the circumstances will be built. Questions and the breaks in between, okay, along with that the language they use, all these will be like kind of what the child friendly procedures. And also mandatory reporting. So at times in India, if you see, if there is any that is very unfortunate to say, but till now if there is any rape case or something, still people hide that because they consider it as a like there is a that is a disadvantage for their family when it comes to their honor or something. Okay. So some of the rape cases are not been filing, but here it is mandatory. When it comes to child's sexual assault or harassment, it is mandatory to report. Okay. And also special codes for speedy trial. So to fast track the court procedures, the special codes also will be allocated. Okay. So this is what the major features of POCSO Act. Okay. Moving on to the detail. Okay. The Child Rights Commission, it is present in state level and the national level. They will be working for to protect child rights, okay, and also monitor implementation of laws. So they will not be stopping only where the problems are being arised. Okay. So when it comes to they are being indulged in the labors, child labors, okay, the sexual assault or whatever the harassment, okay, and if there is any violation to the child rights, okay, and they will be taking care of the education for education also of certain kids who are having no guardians and everything. Okay. So this is kind of the provisions of the child commission. Okay. So now here they will be monitoring the implementation of law where the POCSO Act is properly implemented or not, if there is any missing cases, all these things will be taken care by them. Also they will be recommending the action to the government, like what kind of a punishment have to be given, and in this particular case what have to be taken into the consideration. All these recommendations also will be given. The same wise when it comes to the Pune case, the Maharashtrian State Child Rights Protection Commission, so they have given the recommendations of the earlier discussed, like special prosecutor and also the special like the fasty speedy trials and also the highest punishment that they could give. Okay, so these are the recommendations that have been given. So if you see what are all the issue that we have here is delay in justice. So though there were lot of like speedy trial provisions, but the implementation of that speedy trials, if you see the pending cases, okay, they are trying to complete the POCSO cases and certain cases very fastly, but still there is a delay in justice. Okay, sometimes influence, sometimes lack of the evidences, because if in the cases of rape and cases of sexual assault or something, if it is delayed, okay, it is not that easy to identify the evidences in the human body. Okay, so that is the major problem here. So if there is delay in the procedures and the delay in the things, it will be eventually reducing the evidences and the justice will be delayed day by day. Okay, so that is a major thing. And second thing is about the repeated offenders that we have talked about. So in this Pune case also, the offender have been indulged with multiple cases, and again he is been repetitively he is doing these things. Not only him, there is multiple persons who are having n number of cases, but still they will be doing the same thing. They will be coming in the bail. Okay, sometimes they will be taking anticipatory bail for certain cases, so not for the POCSO. Okay, for other cases they will be coming, they will be taking the bail, they will be coming out, parole mein aayenge, फिर they will be sitting and doing all the crimes again and again. Okay, so kind of a repetitive offenders are there. See, we have certain strong laws. Again, we have to implement, we have to question the implementation, how far we are able to implement them, and how the punishments are being provided, so that they will not be, punishments are for what, to make sure that there is no repetition of those crimes, right? But with the loopholes and with the legal provisions, okay, they are coming out of those punishments and they will be continuously doing these things. So that we have to check when it comes to the legal provisions. Okay. Then the law enforcement gaps. So the effect, the law enforcement gaps have to be checked. Okay. So this is what the major issues from the case. So if you see the acid attack there, I wanted to add one more thing here. So the victims will be considered. This extension of the definition hai na, like the forcibly ingest acid takers, right? So this effect will be coming from 2016 case only. Okay. So they will also be getting the beneficiary. Okay. Moving on, clear? Okay, read about the POCSO and also the provisions of Child Rights Commission. Okay. The last topic for the day is about households face rising medical inflation. So I have written so many things straight away from this newspaper. I am just going to see. Policy Bazaar, all these things nowadays you could see lot of insurance advertisements, right? Like LIC, Max Life Insurance, all these are like kind of a health coverage, healthcare coverage, right? So if you see, there are in a survey it have been identified that, okay, so the medical inflation is keep on rising, and sometimes the medical expenses is too much out of their pocket. We are going to identify like what is the concern behind it, okay, and also we will be seeing certain fact also, okay. So let's go to one by one. 2025 to 26 economic survey mentioned that health inflation is 3% when it comes to the December 2025, but actually the ANS global medical trends rate, they have given that India is having 12 to 13% of medical inflation. Okay, so medical inflation is nothing but the cost, okay, the cost of drugs, the cost of treatments, the scans and everything, diagnosis procedures and everything is bit higher. So the inflation is like, if I am able to pay only 10,000 for particular treatment, but the treatment cost is around 15,000, somehow or the other I have to get it, right? So my own money is going out of my pocket, okay, in a larger way. So we will be seeing why the medical treatments are high and what is the major issue in that, what can be done. Okay, so this have been given in this article, we will see one by one. Okay, so on out of pocket expenditure, so the government hospitals, okay, in government hospitals the extra money that is going out of my pocket, it have been observed as 6,631 rupees. Okay, when it comes to the NGO or charitable hospitals, it is around 40,000, and also in the private hospital it is around 50,000. So which is like, if I am having certain amount of money with me for a treatment, okay, if it is like 20,000, but the out of pocket expenditure, like I am capable of doing 20,000 treatment only, but the treatment cost around 50,000 and 60,000. So this is the average numbers they have given, how much extra is going out of the people's pocket. Okay, so that is what on out of pocket expenditure. Okay, so Ayushman Bharat PMJ, right? A certain like state governments is also giving that insurance schemes and everything, health insurance and everything. Okay. Okay. So now if you see the national survey, okay, they have given the 75th round was, it is like around 20,135 rupees in an average they are going around the out of pocket. Okay, when it comes to the 80th round, there the problem is like around 34,000 rupees is going out of the pocket when it comes to the treatment. So the excessive, like in an average 34,000 is an excessive amount that is going from people's pocket. Okay. So if you see what is the causes of this inflation, one is rapid technology advancement. So when it comes to MRI, earlier MRIs, till now MRIs are a bit costly only. Okay. So whenever we are importing the technologies from outside, whenever it is new to our country, there will be very minimal people will be having those technologies, right? And for diagnosing, keeping the increasing diseases in mind, okay, the number of diseases that has been increased, we are going with rapid technical things. Okay, if you see the BP machine, that is also now automatic, right? And also it will be taking the BP readings by itself, and also many things, right? So the technological advancement rapidization is keep on increasing the inflation. First point. Second thing is about increase in non-communicable diseases burden and the population ages. So if we see about the that is what we have discussed, right? The non-communicable diseases are keep on increasing. So the age group that has been affected. Okay, if you see the age group like 18 to 55. Okay. So majorly they will be having in this period, they right now they are having diabetics, obesity, right? क्यों नहीं बन पाओगे आप? तो बन पाओगे, मैं बताऊंगी, ठीक है? So this age group, for example, they are having diabetics, ठीक है? And India's population is high in this category, so it will be like the cost of treatment and everything is high because of the higher recurring non-communicable diseases, ठीक है? So this is one of the reason, and another reason is about increased pharmaceutical inflation. Here, increased pharmaceutical inflation is about the medicines, where certain medicines WHO have been listed around, okay, the emergency medicines, where they will be getting very sasta, matlab they will be getting it little cheaper, and also it will be available in a emergency cases, okay. So those kind of things have in India, very fewer amount of medicines have been listed in national emergency this list, okay. That is the major concern. So the pharmaceutical inflation, where the supply chain is also getting disrupted, because of that importing goods are getting higher in the prices, ठीक है? So if there is any supply, मान लेते हैं हम डेनमार्क से कोई ड्रग्स मंगवा रहे हैं, ठीक है? So we are importing certain drugs from Denmark, okay. So if there is any supply chain problem, like if there is any disruption between India and Denmark, and if there is any problem in the route, like West Asian conflict and everything, if there is any particular supply chain disruptions are there, immediately it will be delaying the process of transit, right? So to combat this, this delay will be increasing the prices, right? Because when there is a demand and you are not able to give the supply, eventually the prices will be going up. So that kind of a global supply chain fluctuations, it is increasing the imported technical devices and drugs. If you see, again when it comes to the MRI, okay, helium is used as a coolant for MRI scans, right? So when there is a conflict in the West Asia, okay, we are not able to bring the helium, okay, one of the LNG, right? So so there, because of the supply chain disruptions, we are not able to bring the helium. So where the coolant of we are not able to take multiple MRIs. So each MRI was costing high because we don't have the helium in the reserve. So these kind of supply chain fluctuations will be affecting the prices, and along with that increased pharmaceutical inflation, where the prices of combination of elements will be high, okay. So apart from that, if you see the major issues in healthcare, if you see the privatization, if you see like whomsoever it is nowadays in India, most of the countries will be having higher public healthcare systems, right? But we in India, we most probably prefer the private hospitals because of the quality, okay, the hygiene they maintain, and also the availability of all the procedures like scans, lab for the blood test and everything, okay, and those rooms availability, okay, the if it is any crucial treatment or if there is any high risk surgeries have to be done, okay, all these things will be what? So it will, we are relying upon the private hospitals only. So the privatization, the dependence on the private entities also increasing the price, that is also increasing the inflation when it comes to the medical terms, because we are depending upon the private people, and private hospitals maximum vision is about to maximize their profit, right? That is what the intent of the private hospitals. What are the private institution? Schools, colleges, okay, and even the hospitals, everything, the transport, whatever the concern is, if it is a corporate or a private thing, their first motive is to increase the profit. So eventually the higher prices will be there, because people are not going for the public institutions, rather than they are coming to the private institutions, right? So eventually they will be increasing the prices. So the dependence is also one of the major cause for medical inflation. Okay. Okay, so what is the issue of why we are preferring private institution? Because of the quality issues. Sometimes the major lab test and certain specific test will not be available at public institutions. So we have to improve those like the upcoming disease diagnostic test and everything, and also the lab technicians, lab assistants. Okay, so these kind of things have to be available in our public infrastructure as well. Okay. Then the complex surgeries that we have talked about, you see, most recent times we could see in the newspaper like very complex surgery have been successfully made by like the government hospitals. But if you see, whenever you go to different private hospitals, they would have listed down their complex surgeries, successful complex surgeries. So the ratio is higher when it comes to the private hospitals when it comes to the complex surgeries, like the doctors availability, okay, the medicines, and also the quick response from the private people. So that is bit higher there. The quality and also the absence of facilities are the major issue why we are preferring private hospitals than the public hospitals. Keeping that in mind, okay, so the public hospitals will be having overburden. If you see, the public hospitals only will be dealing with suicide cases, okay, and also certain violent domestic violence cases and everything. Immediately, if you go to any private hospitals, first they will suggest you to go to government hospitals, because it is mandatory, like you have to take treatment from government hospitals in certain cases. So they are like overburdened. Okay, those who are coming under like financially disadvantaged category and everything, they will be eventually going where? To the GH only, so government hospital only. So this kind of overburden is there, and also lack of infrastructure. Okay, if you see, certain government hospitals only will be having a good infrastructure. Other than that, it will be like very chaotic, very pathetic situation. To be honest, in Indian government hospitals are in a pathetic situation. So that infrastructure changes have to be brought up. Okay. So now the Supreme Court has also have told that states to come up with certain guidelines to regulate the private pricing, so that the medical inflation will come down. Okay. So the problem here is, by this by the Clinical Establishment Act of 2010, it have been advised that, okay, the state governments have to, the central government has to fix the prices or the cap limit for the medicines and the treatments with consultation of whom? The state. Okay, but the problem is the healthcare will be coming under the state list, right? So there they are being overburdened. The state has been overburdened with the financial burden also, and there is no proper regulation also. So now the Supreme Court have asked, like, please bring regulation guidelines to fix the pricing of the private hospitals. So, if the problem is like whether to go with center or the things have to be with state. So, that is a major issue here, clear. So, when we are when we are capping the prices, the challenge here is the size and heterogeneity. The size of the private market, it is huge, okay. So, if we are capping it, sometimes they will be flowing away, like Apollo or any other private concerns, okay, they will be eventually doing what? They will be flowing away from India. End of the day, we will be having very higher cost because the competition is moving out. So, we will be having less accessibility, right. So, the eventually the cost of the treatment and everything will be higher only, okay. And the heterogeneity, like the differences. So, you cannot keep one particular cap for the pricing, the test, the scans, okay, and also the drugs, many other things have to be given in a different manner. The cappings have to be in a different manner. That is what the major challenge that we face in capping the prices. Okay. So, apart from that, if you see, the medical inflation is driven by another factor, which is insurance, lack of insurance. So, if you see the lack of insurance, okay, how many of us are having insurance? How many of our parents are getting the insurance? The lots and lots of accidents will be going uncovered because of this lack of insurance, either the third party insurance or our own health insurance, term insurance, whatever it is, okay. Not many of the people are getting it, right, because they feel it is a luxury and unnecessary, but actually insurance is something which is in nowadays, okay, it is necessary, okay, it is one of a necessity, at least 500 600 per month. If you are affordable, you can go for any private insurance, okay. So, that is out of my personal concern, I have told you, you can decide according to you. So, the one of the major impact of this inflation is because of lack of insurance. If you see the lack of insurance, okay, 70% of patients lack health cover. So, which is making the treatment payment is from their pocket, which is already very expensive, which we talk about on out of pocket expenditure, right. So, if there is insurance cover, health cover, a smaller amount will be keep on added to your account, right, the insurance account. And if there is any mishappening or if there is any unfortunate events have been happened, so those treatment and those cost, the drug cost and everything will be covered under health care. So, you have to give certain smaller amount only, it will not be a huge burden. So, the medical inflation will not be that high, okay, that have been said here. So, if you see, if you identify like 70% of the patients are not having the health cover, two things will be happening. One is majorly they will be giving out the treatment. At times I cannot afford, or else then second part, what they will be doing, they will be pledging everything, the property, like the property, jewelry, the savings, everything will be going out of their hands. That is what happening. So, the survey that have been taken by Global Heart and Heart Failure, that they have stated that, see, literally 70% of the patients are not having the health care, health cover at all. So, it is a alarming thing for India. On insurance is one of a booming industry, but still it have become necessary right now. So, we have to go with that. Okay. So, in that we are able to see health cover is possible in rural areas like 47.4%, and in the when it comes to the urban, 44.3% have been covered under this health cover. Okay. So, here comes our schemes like okay, Ayushman Bharat, everything comes under here only. So, they are giving the cover for the health cover for 5 lakh to 12 crore, okay, even in the rural areas, in the urban areas, okay, for the secondary and the tertiary areas also will be having the cover up from 5 lakhs to 12 crore. So, if you have applied it in online or through any, even the private hospitals are taking the applications for this this insurance scheme also, okay. So the Ayushman Bharat insurance scheme. So this is a major thing. So see, you can rely on this because it is a government insurance scheme, right? First thing, you can rely upon this, and it is available throughout India, like pan India it is available. So it is easy for you to claim all those things. Even recently my family member, like the known people, okay, they got admitted in the hospital, and when it comes to the insurance claim, it was very helpful for them, literally. There I noticed, like in the reception there, the people are sitting with insurance, like the insurance section is differently have been set up, and they are coordinating with the state insurance schemes also, and also this pan India Ayushman Bharat also. So it is necessary and you can go for it. Anyhow, it is like giving a cover, it is reducing your financial burden when it comes to your emergency time. So you can go for it. Okay. So these kind of insurance schemes are available. So when it comes to the challenges of getting this insurance cover, problem here is rejection of claims. Whatsoever it is, okay, end of the day, the claim is little less at sometimes, okay. So the claim is sometimes less claim, okay, and apart from that, the rejection of claims because of, okay, certain documents will not be properly maintained, okay, the certain documents will not be properly submitted also. So because of this, the rejection of claims are largely happening, okay. And lag in reimbursement. So to be honest, private hospitals are those who are having this insurance claim, literally, okay. So there are certain things happening, they are ready to take those insurance claim, okay. But the problem here is the government is not giving back them the reimbursement on time. So what is happening, those private hospitals pressurizing the patients to pay it in advance. Whenever the reimbursement comes, they will be repaying back to the patients, okay. So that is what happening in the real time. So if you see, there is a lag of reimbursement. So the time it has been taken, okay, it is delaying the process of treatment. So to avoid that, what they are doing, the private hospitals are asking the patients and the attenders to pay first in advance, then they would be able to get the reimbursement amount. So the lag of reimbursement amount is also a major issue for going for this Ayushman Bharat kind of the government insurance, okay. And apart from that, the fraudulent activities. Fraudulent activities here majorly by the private hospitals, where, okay, so the private hospitals, what they are doing, if the treatment cost around 30,000, okay, they will be putting the claim for 40,000 and they will be taking the 10,000 for them. So if you see, for that only they have given the list of in the claim, in the insurance claim, they have given the list, okay. If it is angioplasty, okay, the stunt and everything will be covered under this insurance, it will not be covered under this institution insurance. And the doctor's fees, the medicines, okay, so all these things are the operation theaters facilities, they will be mentioned in the list, okay. These kind of the diseases that will be covered, and these kind of the instruments or the treatment procedures that will be covered under this instruments. So these have been given in the list. What the private hospitals are doing here is, so this private hospitals are doing a major thing where they will be suggesting certain medical treatments which will not cover under the insurance, because straight away it will be going to their pockets, right. So that is also happening, and they are putting for the extra claim, which is the treatment is costing around 30 or 40,000, they will be getting they will be putting the claim for what, 50-60,000. So certain amounts will be going extra to the hospitals. So this is also happening, okay. And reliance on digital services. So this is a major thing, okay. These are the challenges that we are facing, and the one of the important section that we have to see here is missing middle. Missing middle is nothing but, okay, either of the way I am missing out these coverages, either I am not poor enough to come under this insurance claim, okay, so eventually I am paying out of my pocket only, okay, And the second circumstance is not well off to buy private insurance. So if I am not having the ability to pay 500, 600 per month, okay, for the private insurance, then also I am missing out, and for my treatment I have to get loans, or I have to pledge my property and jewelry for affording those treatments. So these are the challenges when it comes to the health cover. Okay. So the solutions that have been mentioned in this article is like the GDP. Okay, the expenditure for healthcare in our GDP, the 2026 budget is very less. Nearly 2% or less than 2% of the GDP have been mentioned for this healthcare expenditure, out of which the healthcare will be having 0.26%. Okay, and the public spending, the subsidies will be given in, could be given to the public institutions where the medicines will be made little cheaper. Okay. And the next one is about the guidelines on public and private healthcare pricing, where we talked about the cap limit and everything about the price, right? So where we have anticipated the challenges of the heterogeneity, right? The different sectors. So it is not easy, and it is not practically possible to cap everything, and we should have the coordination of center and the state, right? Okay, the Clinical Establishment Act 2010 that we have discussed earlier. Strengthening public healthcare network. So the problem here is whenever I go to any public healthcare, sometimes I will not be having the advanced treatment procedures and everything, right? So that is the major thing where the strengthening of public healthcare network have to be done. So if I am admitting in this particular village or district, okay, if I am not getting that particular treatment, if there is no facility, immediately I have to be transferred to the higher healthcare centers, right? So that is what they are telling, like strengthening the public healthcare network. If it is not possible in the primary healthcare, immediately they have to shift to the higher public healthcare centers. And the next one is about the expansion of list of national essential medicines 2022. This is the major thing. Okay. So in the national essential medicines, certain things like 384 medicines have been mentioned. Okay, but it is supposed to be the WHO have given the national essential medicines as what, like 520 medicines. Okay. So if this 520 medicines have been recommended by WHO, but in India we are taking the list of only 384 medicines. So we have to extend this national essential medicines also, so that our people also will be getting certain medicines will be under the concession. Okay. So also we have to go for certain things, okay, like how polio drops will be given, right? HIV procedures will be done, and the tuberculosis. So for all these things we will be having like like there is a multiple possibilities, right? So we can go door by door, or they can come and take all those tests and the medicines also, right? So it is easily available for people. So like that wise we have to go for the critical medicines also. Okay, keeping that in mind, the healthcare also should come under the Essential Commodities Act of 1955, where the government will be having the regulation to control the pricing and everything. Okay, so they can list the medicines and the treatments where that will be the essential commodity for people, and it will be available at everywhere and at a discounted, like the very minimal prices. So that is what have been suggested in this article. Okay. So that is what from the newspaper today. Just read about it and let me know if there is any doubt. We will discuss. ठीक है, बिल्कुल आप IAS बन पाओगे, क्यों नहीं बन पाओगे, अगर if you have like if you are keep on studying, if you are doing enough hard work and the smart work, then you can definitely do it. ठीक है, पढ़ाई कर लो, अच्छे से कर लो, मेहनत करो, फिर मिल जाएंगे, don't worry. ठीक है. So I guess there is no doubt till now. If there is any doubt, please let me know. Otherwise we will wind up this session. those who don't have, those family members don't have insurance, health insurance, ask them to go for any like public health insurance, state sponsored or the central sponsored. Okay, chalo, theek hai. I think there is no doubts. Then we will wind up the session. See you tomorrow in the next session. Okay, thank you so much.